Hello everybody, it's finally Friday and it's Standby Newquay Zoo's premiere episode of All About. This week we'll be focusing on the diverse world of mammals. I'll be giving you an overview of what a mammal is, some of the key adaptations, and of course, what mammals you can find right here on your doorstep. So before we begin, I need you to go get a pen and some paper to write down any notes and questions that you have throughout the video, and then we'll jump straight into it.
Okie doke, so let's get stuck in. So by the end of this session, you'll be able to identify what a mammal is and understand the biological characteristics which constitute a mammal. You'll be aware of the different types of mammals in the UK, and you'll be able to observe them at home and in your local area. We'll also touch upon the various field signs which mammals leave behind. So looking at this slide, you can see that class Mammalia is pretty extensive and encompasses a broad range of species which are all different shapes and sizes. So from the left, you can see that we have the heavily armoured armadillo. Next to it is a quokka from Australia, and then to the right we have the elephant shrew, mostly called so because of its elongated nose. To the right of that we have the kangaroo, which has this distinctive pouch which the joey can sit in. Then we have elephants, which are known for their intelligence and emotional awareness. And under that, we have the aquatic mammals, so dolphins and seals. And then to the left, we have two sparring baby goats, which are known as kids. So let's go in and find out what makes up a mammal. So let's start with hair. Hair is especially characteristic of mammals, and it is made up from the fibrous protein keratin, which is also the protein which makes nails, claws, hooves, and feathers. Hair in mammals grows continuously by the rapid production of cells in the follicle. This is seen here in this diagram. The further the hair is pushed upwards, it gets further away from the nutrients supplied to it, and therefore the cells die. So the hair on your head is actually compacted dead cells. This is what we call true hair, dead keratin-packed epidermal cells, in other words, skin cells, and it's only found in mammals. Mammals have two types of hair, the underhair, which is very dense and soft and is used for insulation by trapping air between the follicles. In aquatic mammals, such as the sea otter we have here, its fur is so dense that it is almost impossible to get wet. Instead, the outer layer of the guard hair becomes wet and adheres together to each other, forming a protective covering which shields the underhairs from water. Guard hairs are also function as a protective buffer or barrier for bacteria and dirt between the environment and the skin. This type of hair also gives animals their coloration. Strands of hair differ in structure across the species. A good example of this is the polar bear, who actually has transparent hair, which allows the sunlight to pass directly through and reach the black skin underneath. And as you may know, black absorbs heat, so this helps them stay warm in cold Arctic environments. Also, hair is not just limited to mammals that we see on land. It is also in marine mammals, and I don't know if you can see here, but there are small hairs which are whiskers on the end of whales' snouts. Secondly, all mammals have glands. For instance, sweat glands are not present in other vertebrates, animals with a backbone. There are two types of sweat glands, eccrine, which secretes a fluid similar to water and then evaporates from the skin surface, which will remove heat and cool the organism. These glands occur in hairless regions such as animal footpads, although exceptions to these are horses and primates, which have these glands all over the body. The other type is apocrine glands, which open into a hair follicle or where a hair follicle once was. In contrast to eccrine glands, apocrine glands secrete milky fluids that dry on the skin and form a protective film. In humans, these develop in puberty and occur near the breasts and scrotum, but there are modified versions which are found in your ear canal and are what produce earwax. The sebaceous gland secretes a greasy, oily mixture called sebum onto hair follicles. Strangely enough, it's known as polite fat because it doesn't go rancid and instead keeps your hair glossy and pliable. Moving on to scent glands, these can occur anywhere on the body and vary greatly between species. For example, in wolves and foxes, they occur near the base of the tail, whilst in deer, they are located around the eyes, feet, and between the digits. As you can see here, the cat has an abundance of scent glands concentrated around the face and around the rear, but there are some also on the pads of the feet. Finally, the mammary gland occurs in all female mammals and produces milk to nourish young as they develop. In most mammals, milk is secreted from the glands via the nipple. However, in monotremes, such as the echidna, which lack nipples, milk is simply secreted onto the fur for young to drink and lap up. Mammals are also characterised by their bone structure. To fully understand this feature, we must go back to the most common mammalian ancestor, the synapsids. Over time, their skulls have evolved to have two occipital condyles, which were two bones at the base of your skull, which facilitated the movement of your neck and skull. They also had a secondary palate, which is the roof of your mouth. Furthermore, the evolution of the jaw joint between the squamosal, which is your ear, and dentary, lower jaw bones, allowed the more advanced articulation of the jaw, basically the movement. Furthermore, mammals in general had evolved a middle ear with 3 ossicles and 7 cervical vertebrae, as well as having fused pelvic bones. As you can see from the diagram, different species of mammals have evolved various skull shapes depending on their diet. For examples, herbivores have much larger lower jaw bones to grind tough vegetation compared to the elongated jaws of insectivores and nectivores, which required little chewing and instead used for reaching their food rather than processing it. Other types of diets include carnivores, which eat meat, omnivores, which eat both meat and veg, like us, herbivores, which mainly eat vegetables, frutivores, which mainly eat fruit, insectivores, obviously insects, piscivores, which eat fish, and nectivores, which eat honey. Let's focus on the 4 main body systems in mammals. The circulatory system in mammals consists of a 4-chambered heart, 2 atria, and 2 ventricles. The respiratory system consists of the lungs, the alveoli, and the larynx, whilst the excretory system is where the toxins and waste materials are expelled from the body through metanephric kidneys, in other words, permanent kidneys. Finally, the reproductive system consists of 2 separately developed organ systems, one for males and one for females. Mammals also undergo fertilization, whereby the embryos develop in the uterus with a placental attachment. There's an exception for monotremes though, such as the platypus. So in the UK, there are 107 different species of mammal, all of which can be categorised under 10 different orders. So I'm going to be saying the Latin names, so please bear with me with my pronunciation. But first we'll start off with Dentia, which is squirrels, dormice, voles, rats and mice, and beavers. Then we have Lagomorphia, which is hares, Erinosomorphia, which is hedgehogs, Sauricomorpha, which is shrews and moles, Chiroptera, which are bats, Carnivora, which is quite a large group, which involves cats such as feral cats, dogs like foxes, mustelids like polecats, earless seals and walruses. Then we have Perissodactyla, which is horses, and then we have Artiodactyla, such as pigs, deer, and bovine, which includes goats, cattle, and sheep. Then we have Cetacea, such as baleen whales, and Odontoceti, like toothed whales and dolphins. Obviously, there are many more species, but we'll be here for quite a while if I try and name them all, so this is just a selection from the UK. Observing mammals can be quite tricky, as they aren't as conspicuous as birds or invertebrates. However, it is possible to see them at home or in your local area. A few methods which you can try include camera trapping. This is a popular method whereby you can set up a camera trap which is basically an outdoor weatherproof camera in your garden or a secure area where you have permission to place the camera, and photographs or videos will be taken when an animal passes by, like this mouse here. It is definitely a great way to see what wildlife is right on your doorstep, and anybody can pick up a camera and do it. Another method which is quite common is using baits, lures, or simply having a stake out. You can leave food out in your garden, be it a meaty form of cat food or dog food, which hedgehogs will come and very happily eat. Also be aware though of neighbouring domestic cats who may be looking for a quick meal. Other options for watching mammals include simply sitting in a stationary car, and when you think you've seen something, turn on your headlights. This method definitely requires patience, but it can be very rewarding, especially for observing those larger mammals such as badgers or deer. And finally, field signs. So there are 6 main types of field signs used to identify whether mammals have been present in an area. These can include tufts of fur, such as this rabbit fur over here, nests, such as abandoned hazel dormouse nests here, burrows, like badger setts or foxholes, as well as rabbit and squirrel digging sites. Feeding remains are trickier to identify, such as nut nibblings or carvings by hazel dormice as well. Scat, which is basically the scientific word for droppings or poo, is also very useful in identifying type of mammals in the area, as well as what mammals have been eaten by carnivores such as foxes or mustelids. Lastly, if you're a skilled tracker, then tracks and footprints in dirt, sand or mud can be useful tools in detecting the presence of mammals, such as these over here. So this concludes our brief presentation on mammals. I wish I could have gone into more depth on certain aspects, as there is absolutely tons more information I could have given you guys. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Or if you want to know more, I can always make another video to fill in any gaps in information.
So that was a whistle-stop tour of the wonderful world of mammals. I hope you've learnt something new and enjoyed the video just as much as I have teaching you all about them. Up next we have a creative workshop, so please like and subscribe and stay tuned for those. If you've had any questions regarding what I've said in the video, then please pop them in the comments and I'll be sure to get back to you and answer them to the best I can. Obviously this is in support of Newquay Zoo, so if you're able and you're feeling charitable, please go to the website and donate. I'll put the link in the description, and if you want to know any more information about what we do, what this cause is about, then please visit our Facebook page and we'll be sure to get back to you. So that's all from me. Next week we have all about birds, so stay tuned for that, and I'll see you on Friday at 12 o'clock. Thank you. Stand by, Newquay Zoo. Bye.